What is going on, everybody? It is Aaron Cates and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be fixing something that I've kind of had a problem with for quite some time now. You guys have pointed out in other videos like the tuner video or the gears video, when I hit the gas my oil pressure drops to 0 and it constantly stays on 80. I'm going to show you how to fix that. Now in this little bag right here is a oil pressure sensor. Now they get clogged very easily for whatever reason and they stop working. But in order to replace it, you have to have this special socket that goes down and fits over it just right. Well, for whatever reason, for the last 3 years, I have not felt like replacing it. If you don't know what I'm talking about on the gauge, let me show you. When we turn the key on, first have to have it in the ignition. See how it goes to 80? It's normally supposed to be like over here at 40, but it's normally supposed to be right at the 40 range. And at first I thought my gauge was messed up and I got another set of gauges and it wasn't the gauge, it's the oil pressure sensor. So 3 years down the road, I'm finally replacing it. It's not a big deal and it's actually easier to replace it now that I have the body lift. But first, before we even do the sensor, I gotta do an oil change on the truck. A little bit past due. I'm over like 800 miles and it's time to do the oil change. Now if you're a Mobil 1 fan or if you're whatever, guys, I get pretty decent oil. Fram is like one of the easiest filters to get. I change my oil like every 4,000 to 5,000 miles. I don't drive the truck a lot, it's a daily driver, but like I don't go on super long road trips with it. So oil filter doesn't really matter. Plus it's kind of hard to find a really good oil filter unless you get it like specially ordered, and I'm not doing all that. So we've got our Fram Ultra synthetic, we've got our synthetic 5W30. Now these trucks take like 6.7 quarts, so I've got 2 of the 5 gallons, and then I'm changing my girlfriend's oil and I'll use the rest of it in hers. It actually works out perfect. Our trucks take like 6.7, hers takes like 2.7, so you just put a little bit extra in each one and you're set. Up in the engine bay and we're going to be replacing this sensor right here. Now I already got an idea of where it's at, so let me show you. That oil cover thing, I'm pretty sure is where my oil leak is coming from. It might not be my rear main seal, but that right there is your oil pressure sensor. There's a little plug on top of it where the wire's coming from. You just snap that off and you slide the socket down on top of it. Let's get started. The sensor is in and is plugged back in, but first we need to put oil back in the truck before we try starting it to see if it's fixed. So let's go ahead and do that. Everybody, we have oil in the truck. The pressure sensor is changed. Honestly, body lift helped because it gave me more room at the back of the motor, but it's still a very big pain in the butt. You guys saw I didn't take anything apart. If you watch videos on YouTube, a lot of people take things apart. I didn't do it because the body lift helped that much. I didn't have to take the top cover off the motor. or fuel lines or anything like that. I'm just able to go in, undo it, put the new one in, tighten it back down, and be done. Easy as that, all thanks to body lift. That's why I tell you guys, like, people hate on body lifts, but there's a lot of pros and cons to it. Pros comes to working on it. It gives you a lot more room in the engine bay. But let's go start the truck and see if that problem is fixed. The problem is fixed. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen it at 40 in forever. Okay, now that the truck has ran, you would like to go back and check your dipstick. Now, guys, when you do this, you don't have to drain your oil. All the videos I watched online, you didn't have to drain your oil. I just so happen to need an oil change, and this worked out great. I could do the oil pressure sensor, change the oil, everything be done at once. Perfecto. But I am very, very, very happy that that is no longer at 80. It should no longer drop to 0 when I hit the gas. And as I knew I wasn't losing oil pressure when it went to 0. If you lose oil pressure that many times, something bigger is going to happen than just your gauge moving. Something will happen along those lines. And I think I might have had an oil leak at that pressure sensor. I think something happened along the lines, and it was starting to leak oil. There was a lot of oil built up, as you guys saw in the video, where that sensor was at. So I'm thinking probably like an oil leak or something there that I didn't know about. I didn't know you could get an oil leak through a sensor, but I know now. But it's all fixed. And simple as that. Like I said, everything I use in this video will be linked down below. All the way from the oil to the socket used to put the pressure sensor on. Everything will be down in the description below, like always. And if you guys like seeing type of things like this fixed underneath the hood, engine bay, anything, just let me know. I can do a lot more things like this. I have an ABS module I need to replace. So my ABS system light comes on and my parking brake light comes on all the time. And I've replaced wheel speed sensors. I've eliminated everything but the ABS module, so I'm kind of figuring it's that, because it's an intermittent issue. So if you guys would like to see something like that replaced, let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.